Hey guys, welcome back to Musings with Maverick here, and we are now on yet another episode of Carole and Tuesday. So, last episode, it was quite enjoyable, right? I definitely felt that it was a return to form. The series after getting a little bit of a lull, to be honest. I mean, things were still happening, but nothing interesting, really interesting was happening. And I feel like last episode, even though a lot of things happened, they were all good things, right? Carole and Tuesday were dropping an album. We got Angela working with Artigan, who makes a reappearance and who's always funny. We also got some main plot things happening as well, with Aaron being ran over by Angela's stalker, and then we also got the entire conflict between Tuesday's mom, Valerie, and her brother, Spencer, right? So lots of different things happening, lots of musical things happening, the plot's progressing along, and we got a lot of humor. So all in all, a good episode. So hopefully this one will continue to build on the success of the last one. Alrighty, as usual, I'm skipping the intro and opening, and let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. That's true. Only love can break your heart. Not familiar with this reference either. Hey, how'd you get a suit? Yeah. Sidonia Festival. Oh yeah, they haven't received the news yet. Okay. Oh, he's not dead? Okay. Well, I mean, he didn't really want it. She didn't really want anything to do with you, anyways. Hmm. Hey, back to recording. That means some new music. Wow. Take 32. And only the third song. Right. Formally invited? Yeah, they're kind of famous now. Oh yeah, it is their song. Also produced by Toby.
楽しみにしてるよ。で、秋のサイドニアフェスのルーキーステージに正式にオファーしたいんだ。まずはそっちの意思を確認させてもらいたくて。興味ないなら、
These guys. You can also sort of tease your new album at the festival. That's gonna build up a lot of hype as well. We'll get to that later. Yeah, that's probably what he wants, yeah. Now that is true. Okay. I think this is gonna be a building episode. Asking. Really?
結構ミーハーな動機だよ。大昔にキャパっていう人がいてね。その人の本を読んだり、写真見たりしてるうちにかぶれちゃってね。自分もあんな風になりたいって深く考えないでこの世界に入っちゃったんだ。今思うと結構無謀だったな。まあ、若い時は相当バカで無鉄砲だったからね。そうだね。ひどい怪我をして、もうコリゴリだって思ったことも何度もある。なぜかまた戻っちゃうんだ。実はこっちの耳はあんまり聞こえてないんだ。至近距離で地雷が爆発してね。
A war reporter?
内緒話するときは、
Or at least... Is this where the actual romance is gonna come from? For this series?
7ポイントまで縮まりました。そう。浮かない顔ですな。スペンサーはもう何日も帰ってきてないそうです。大学にも休学届を出したとか？
家庭のことは選挙には関係ないわ。
これは失礼しました。
で、次は何をすればいいわけ？
ご心配なく、すでに手は打ってあります。波が起きなければ、ほんの少し水面を叩けばいい。それはやがて広がり、大きな波となって帰ってくる。ジェリー・イーガン。その筋じゃ有名な選挙屋だよ。選挙に勝つためには手段を選ばないやつ。この男が介入したことで、バレリーの政治的主張は変わり始めた。
No, he's just giving him his notebook, giving him.
最初は頼まれてお母さんのスキャンダルを追ってたんだ。でも調べるうちに考えが変わってきて、これは大きく世の中が変わるきっかけかもしれない。だから君やスペンサーにも話を聞くことにしたんだ。もっとも君と話したかったもう一つの理由は、君たちの曲にグッときたからなんだけど。
Yeah, here's the romance. Neil Young, okay. I don't know the song, but I know Neil Young. Again, another very old wrong.
さすに全部チェックしてもらったけど、盗聴器もカメラもなかったって。たく、どっから見てるわけ、あのストーカーのやつ。
厄介なファンがついちゃったわね。
あんなのファンじゃない。私の邪魔ばっかして。早く捕まって消えてほしい。
He's probably listening, isn't he? Dang.
なんでわかるわけ？
He can basically hack into anything. Damn.
それじゃあ、そろそろ失礼します。
なんか今日は俺ばっかり話しちゃったな。次は君の話も聞かせてもらえるかな。
はい、じゃあまた。
Is this the ripple that
大丈夫だ。
they were talking about?
OK。何も問題ない。歌う前みたいにゆっくり深呼吸して。そうだ。落ち着いてきた。
Hmm.
ここにいて。
Yeah, I'm awfully suspicious about this. I'm betting this has something to do with Valerie and Jerry. Yeah, she's strucken.
昨日ウェザープラントで原因不明の爆発が発生しました。
Letter plant.
プラント内は無人で、現在死者は出ていませんが、アルバシティで気温が急速に低下しています。外出に
So I guess this ties into like the snow that we were seeing in the introduction every time in the beginning. Where are some more clothes, dude?
お前ら、あんな事件があって不安だろうからな。メジャーがついててやらないとな。おお、お疲れ。
だからさ、うちらは平気だからもう帰ってよマジで。
Anti-Mars activist.
マクビー国防長官が会見を行い、今回の事件を
Of course, terrorism.
今回の事件は大統領選にも大きな影響を及ぼすものとみられています。そして移民問題に深く踏み込んだバレリー氏に大きな注目が集まっています。
残念ながら悪い予感を
So they're blaming it on the immigrants?
テロはやはり地球
Yep.
からの難民によるものでした。ハミルトン大統領はこうなる前に手が
Of course, a perfect parallel with today's politics.
立てておくことはできません。
今回の事件が大きな追い風になりました。ハミルトンとの差は急速に縮まり、逆転はもう時間の問題です。我々が考えるべきはむしろ当選した後です。王は
Is Valerie actually having some second thoughts now? Since this is...
ならば、そのような目は先に積むべきだ。
Wow. Really? Hmm.
もっと後でもよかったんだけど。
いえ、スタジオが閉まってて、レコーディングも休みだし、今度は自分の話をするって約束したから。
She's in love.
で、お母さんが随分注目を浴びてるね。
私はずっと母さんを怖がってて、ずっと向き合ってこなくて。でも、カイルさんに言われた通り、逃げてたら逆に囚われたままなんじゃないかって。
それでインタビューに答えてくれたんだ。
母さんは家でも父親代わりをやってて、外でも政治の世界で男性に負けないようにって気を張ってて、自分の中の優しい部分をずっと抑えてきたんじゃないかなって。母さんはすごく厳しい人だった。差別的なことを言うような人じゃなかった。だからどうしてあんな主張をするのかなと思ってて。
Hmm.
本当は母さんも苦しんでるのかも。
So it's tough love, strict but fair.
そんな気がするんです。
Maybe she's being manipulated somehow by that jury here.
それは近くにいた人しかわからない貴重な意見だね。
それ、
ああ、そうそう。新しいの買わないといけないけど、今時なかなか売ってないんだよね。
そうですよね。
通販でも売り切れだし、もしどっかで見つけたら教えてよ。
She's got it bad. Buying a new one?
何これ、昨日より寒くない？じゃ雪だるまになっちゃうよ。
Aww.
それ、カイルさんに？あ、うん。この間助けてもらったお礼してないなって。じゃあ、ちょっと出てくるね。
Kara's like, I know this.
なんかあったらいつでも言ってよ。私はいつでもチューの味方だから。ありがとう。
Hmm. So maybe there's a sense of foreboding here? uh Well, and yeah, it's snowing. I mean, to be fair, this was pretty damn one-sided. It's not Kyle was ever ever inappropriate with her or trying to woo her or something. Oh. And we actually get a song as well. Nice. This is an awesome song. First love, first time heartbroken. Aw. Aw. But hey, it's snowing, right? Okay, I'll see you guys in a second. And so there we go, episode 18. To be honest, not really that much to talk about this episode, but I guess we can first talk a little bit about the relationship between Valerie and Jerry and potentially Tao, right? Because even though we're not exactly explicitly given the direct relationship between these people during the scene with Kyle's notebook, where we could see him drawing out all the different relationships between people, we see that they do have something in common, and that is, if you guys recall to very earlier episodes, at the very beginning, whilst Tao was starting to produce Angela, he got a investment from this guy named Schwartz, right? And he had this fund, his private equity fund or investment fund under him. And so Jerry is actually related with Schwartz. I believe in the relationship chart, he's sort of like, you know, Jerry owns another company that's also related with the fund that Schwartz is managing, and so probably through this kind of connection, they're eventually going to try to find Tao. And I presume that Tao will probably reject him, right? He doesn't seem to be like the type of person who respond kindly to this kind of request, right? And so what happens there, hard to say. And one other thing that I'm actually really not quite sure what the significance of is the entire Black Knight character who's sort of stalking Angela here, right? It doesn't seem like it fits any direct plot line, and I'm thinking it could go either one of two ways, right? One, it could maybe just be something there to let us know the extent of technology and surveillance that currently exist in this current world, in this current situation, and to sort of give a shadowing of what can happen when someone who's really good at hacking, good at IT, is able to get into these kinds of systems, right? The extent of damage or the extent of surveillance, whatever you want to call it, that person might be able to do. And then second of all, maybe it does have another significant relation with the entire story, but then we'll probably not know until we get a little bit more clues, right? So at least right now, that's my thoughts towards this entire persona, and you know how it actually ties in with the main plot. And in terms of Valerie, I mean, we can definitely see again, as I said numerous times before, it's sort of like a parallel to the political situation nowadays. Especially, you got the immigration, you got the terrorism, and whatnot. You're sort of like mixing a lot of different topics together, including immigrants taking jobs, and now it's immigrants and maybe not fully assimilating into the local culture, and then also having terrorists mixed in with these immigrants, or maybe not even immigrants, refugees, if you will, refugees from war areas, and which is causing instability here on Mars, right? Although from the way that things are presented this episode, it seems more that Jerry masterminded these sort of attacks and then pinned the blame onto these anti-Mars factionists, or whatever they're calling it, right? So some parallels, but some very obvious manipulation as well. We'll see, right? At the very least, it sort of sets up the stage, as I said, for the introduction, where we always get that, the 7 minutes of miracle on Mars, and then you got the snow. I mean, I'm presuming it's snow falling down, drifting down. So we're getting into the end story, the end game here, right? Although still, it's not quite clear how exactly they're going to actually end it. Beyond that part, I guess the only real other thing would be sort of, I guess, Tuesday's very quick crush and crushing the crush, if you will. For a series, because one of the labels the series had was actually romance, so I was wondering like where exactly it was going to pop up, right? And at first I thought maybe it had something to do with Rudy, but nothing manifested there. And then I thought it was with that I already forgot her name already. One of the other contestants on Mars Brightest, who had sort of like a crush on Tuesday. I thought it was that part, but then now it actually manifested into an actual crush that was very short-lived, right? And I do hope that they're not just throwing this in willy-nilly. I hope it actually has some sort of impact on Tuesday's character. Maybe it makes her more independent, maybe it makes her less naive, or a perfect way of utilizing this would be allowing her to express her emotions and frustrations musically, right? Because, you know, being in love and being heartbroken are major topics of music, and so perhaps this will compel her to write a new song that pours her emotions into it. I could definitely see that happening, and that would be a nice tie-in into, you know, one of the new songs that they might be playing on the festival or from their new album, right? So hopefully they do actually do something with it, and it's not just, you know, sort of in there to be in there, if you will. And so yeah, that about covers everything for this episode. Like I said, not really that much to talk about, honestly. So I guess we'll just cut this one short, right? And so for next episode, next week, just a heads up, it's actually going to be a bit delayed. I have some minor surgery I have to do on my knee. It's not a major surgery, it's just I sort of tweaked my knee, and so I need to do some stuff for it, just to make sure. It's not a major surgery, but I'll still be at the hospital for maybe a few days, and then once I get back, I'll do my best to get these episodes out, right? But until further notice, I do believe that at least in terms of my series for Wednesday and Thursday, they'll probably be delayed by a little bit, and so that includes Carole and Tuesday as well. But don't worry, I will still get back to them once I can, as soon as possible. So there we go. That was episode 18 from Carole and Tuesday. You've been watching Mavry from Musings of Mavry, and I will see you guys next time. Until then, bye bye.